Hello and welcome to this general tutorial and walkthrough. Today I will be providing an overview of the Films on Demand service at large, and then go into the service itself, where we will touch on some key features, familiarize you with a few areas that are good to know about, and touch on what is available within the service. Then we'll wrap up with where Films on Demand is going into the coming year, and point out some of the more noteworthy mile markers that we have already passed. So let's get started. Films on Demand is a service offered through Infobase Publishing, which some of you may already be aware has been a leading publisher of content for quite some time, and that also offers online databases outside of the Films on Demand streaming video service. I mention this to raise the point that we offer general sessions quarterly for all of our online services that are available for a general audience to attend. The digital rep that works with your institution will be able to provide this schedule for the coming months, or perhaps schedule a personalized webinar for a small group of faculty or even a department at your institution. All of our webinars are free to attend and allow for multiple computers to plug in. So if everyone can't make it to one location, they can still participate from their own computers or even their mobile devices by downloading the GoToMeeting app. The Films on Demand service currently offers over 19,000 videos, which roughly breaks out to more than 170,000 segments. The table on this slide shows a general breakdown of the number of titles within each subject collection. Your institution may subscribe to one or multiple collections, so that the number of titles can vary greatly. For the past 2 years, our acquisitions department has hit the milestone of acquiring over 2,000 titles each year, which translates to almost 40,000 new segments being added to work with. These segments are content-focused and can range between 30 seconds to 5 minutes, where the length of time depends on several factors, including the length of the overall title and the amount of time dedicated to one particular topic. This next slide gives a more robust representation of each collection, where you can see the next level of taxonomy covered within each subject. The title counts themselves may be a little out of date, but the taxonomy is really the focus here. Feel free to pause and take a little longer to sort through the breakdowns, if you like. We currently work with over 150 producers that range from heavy hitters in the media today, all the way to some independent producers that have put together some great titles. As you can see from this small scope of highlighted producers, the FOD service brings a wealth of perspective and experience to its subscribers. Over 95% of the content within the service is available exclusively through the FOD platform, and by housing it all in one service, we offer persistent links and the convenience to search across this variety quickly. The two main aspects of the FOD service are the user-facing platform and the behind-the-scenes admin portal. The platform is the online video catalog where users can do everything from searching and viewing content to grabbing embed codes to using course management software to arranging content into playlists and favorites folders. When we go into the Films on Demand platform, I'll show you the different options to search by, where each of these options make sense, the features available for each title, and some of the features that will help you save time and bring the service to even more people on campus. The admin portal is a separate website from the FOD platform. This is where all of the account level tools and controls are laid out. Usage stats, title data, and reporting features are available, as well as content updates, and this is where your library can get the mark records and metadata. Other great features worth looking into are the different widgets that bring users into the service, and some other account level tools that help to keep the service working how you would like it to. For a walkthrough of your institution's admin portal, I would suggest getting in touch with your state digital consultant. Access to the admin portal is generally limited to a few users, and makes more sense to cover it with the administrative individuals of the account in a walkthrough Q&A session or phone call, rather than on this walkthrough today. The one thing that can make or break a service is how well it can be accessed and used. The Films on Demand service offers a variety of ways to gain access, use the content, and then set that content up for future use. We have made many improvements already and continue to enhance the service to keep what matters most as a top priority: watching the content and getting it in front of the intended audience. Each title within the service comes with direct, full title and segment URLs, as well as embed codes to place that content within a variety of locations. Individuals giving presentations or posting content into online course websites can take advantage of direct URLs to bring their audience and their focus one step closer. Additionally, embed codes can be easily assimilated into course management software so that the audience never has to leave the page that they are on to watch the videos. And finally, each title comes with a marked record that can be used in online catalogs for enhanced searchability within the campus's online presence. And, as I touched on a second ago, we also offer a search widget, an FOD icon, and a scrolling content marquee that can be added to any library or department webpage. These widgets help to bring users into the service more readily by increasing the number of ways that patrons can gain access to the service outside of online catalogs and general searches. Now that we have a good idea of what goes into the FOD service, we're going into the platform to show you what it's all about. You'll notice the layout of the main page is intended to be visually engaging and appeal to a YouTube generation, where scrolling through a host of videos can be just as relevant as a well-focused search. At a glance, the audience can get a feel for what kinds of videos are available, what and where new content is being added, and the overall variety of collections that are available to your institution. As you scroll down this page, you can click on any of these titles or icons themselves to take you right into the video. Within the service, there are 4 search features available to all general users. There are 2 preset filters, set up as guides to help drill down quickly by either subject content or producer, a search bar used for specific word, phrase, and title searches, and the advanced search feature, which allows for a very specific criteria to be implemented into your search. The first of the filters is the Collections tab. Clicking on it rolls out a drop-down menu of the available subject areas within your subscription. This drop-down simply shows an indexed view of the subjects available, where scrolling down the page would offer the same list, but would also include icons and pictures of some of the titles in each collection. The second filter is the Featured Producers tab, which shows a highlighted producers drop-down table. This is great for users that are looking for a specific producer or kind of producer. This may be a requirement directly from a professor for an assignment or specifically for a project. Or perhaps a professor or faculty member is looking for a certain producer to focus on within their course or an upcoming assignment or project. The search bar accepts words and phrases and can be further directed to search by segments or by titles. Another feature to note is the autofill feature that allows the user to see what results are available before they even commit to a search. Searching by segment will produce a larger amount of hits that can be picked through for more specific segment level content, where searching by title will return less overall hits but offer the user the ability to pick through the content from the title level down as opposed to from the segment level up. Searching by either segment or title has respective advantages, and the only major difference is the level of content where you wish to begin your search. The advanced search feature has as many bells, whistles, and buttons as we could think to include. Specific words, specific producer, date range, specific collections, closed captioning, and more. As you can see, this is a very malleable search feature that can help you find niche content within the collections available to you. Where the last 4 features are available to a general audience, the next 2 features are only available to users that create unique logins. Creating a login is a simple process that we encourage every user to do and that every user can do. Establishing your own login is often easier to remember than one set up for you. It will allow you to log in remotely, including mobile devices, and you will be able to utilize the next 2 features, playlists and favorites. Clicking on either the favorites or the playlist tabs will prompt you to log in if you have not already done so, and will also give you the option to create an account. You can also create an account by clicking on the link in the upper right hand corner, Create Account. Once you fill in the 5 fields, it will create an account for you and sign you in automatically. You can tell that you are signed in when it welcomes you directly in the upper right hand corner. I've already created an account, so I'll go ahead and just log in. But these are the 5 fields that any user will use. Now, playlists are enhanced digital folders, where they can be actively used rather than just simply holding content to get back to later. That's what favorite folders are good for. Playlists take a little more time to set up, but they allow the creator to establish a specific focus for their audience. Let's, for example, say that a professor or student wants to focus on a certain subject across a few titles and include this content in a Blackboard assignment or an up-and-coming report to be presented in class. By creating a playlist, they have the ability to grab multiple segments across multiple titles and place them into one playlist. Each playlist has a unique URL to direct their audience back to that specific folder and its contents. Let's say the topic of discussion is the honeybee and the population drop over the past decade. I keep bees with my family, and this is a topic I often use for examples. I type bees into the search box, and I'll go ahead and start by searching by segments to show you the difference between a segment's return and a title's return. With the segments, I get 48 hits. When I decide to sort by titles, this number will drop, because again, I don't want to focus on the segment level up. I would rather focus on the title level down, as my search is very general in the beginning. There are several titles here to choose to, but again, we're dealing with the bees and the population drop. So I'm going to choose Vanishing Bees. Now, before we get too far into the playlist options, let's take a look at this View Title page that we are on. On this View Title page, there are the regulars. You have the play button, you have the scroll bar, you have the volume control, you have the full screen option, and the availability of captions or closed captioning are in this upper right-hand corner of the video itself. To the right, you have segments that can play individually or on a continuous loop. You have the interactive transcript option, which you can search by word, you can print this out, or you can copy the entire transcript and paste it to another document like a Word or an Excel document. You also have the ability to look at related titles. So all 3 of these really give you the option to break this title down a little bit easier or find things more relevant. So the interactive transcript is a very cool feature, because it allows you to search by word and see where that word appears within the text of the video. Here I chose honey, and each of these shows where honey appears in the video. By clicking on any one of these little interactive bars, you can go to that point of the video. Bee clearly shows up many times. We'll try flower. So here's an example of a word that does not show up often. So if you were looking for a very specific reference, rather than waiting through the whole video to hear that key word, you can type it in here and go directly to where that is in the title itself. Under the video panel, you can email to an associate, you can add it to a playlist, you can add it to a favorites. These 2 options we'll get back to momentarily. You have the option to grab the embed code. Now there's also a feature to offer an alternate embed code, which is available through the My Preference setup, which we will get to a little bit later in this tutorial. And you can also find the citations that we offer: MLA, Chicago, and most of our videos also include APA. So we offer 3 different citations for each of our titles. All the way down the page, the title appears again, and the total length of the title itself, 88 minutes. The description and the ID of the title for quick reference back. But we're going to show you how to use a favorites folder so that you don't have to keep a running list of item numbers, the copyright date, and the taxonomy that this title is filed under. Now, you also have the ability to look up related resources and reviews and rewards that this title may have received since we acquired it or before we acquired it. Now, the title URL is very important. This direct title URL is what you need to use to link back to this title. Please don't use the Internet Address Bar link at the top here. Do not use it. This is a no-no. The Internet Address Bar link is not authenticated and will cause frustration for individuals trying to gain access when they click on it. Create a habit of grabbing this direct link here at the bottom. This is already authenticated and works within your institution's proxy and authentication settings. Now that we have identified everything on the View Title page, let's get back to implementing some of these features. Remember, we got to this title by searching for bees and making sure that we sorted by title after we received the results. We chose this title out of those results and arrived at this page to set up a playlist for a future presentation or homework assignment. Now, we will go ahead and set up our playlist. What you have the option to do is click on Add to Playlist. Again, this is a feature that is only available to individuals that have logged in. And as we created our login already, we can go ahead and do this. You have the option to include the full title in your playlist or just a few segments. I will include segments 1, 2, and 5, and because I don't have an existing playlist to add these to, I will create a new one. You can add multiple segments by holding down the Control button when you make your selections. And I'll put bee population drop. Create a new playlist. And you can see that it indicates that these items have been added. Now, I know that there's a lot more information in this title that I want to get back to in the future, and I would rather not repeat the whole search and find process that got us here in the first place. This is where we use the Favorites folder. I click on Add to Favorites. You see the basic options that we just saw in the Playlists feature. But from here, we can do the same basic thing, and I'll show you how to get back to these later. So we'll say bees and population. Drop. Create a new folder. And you can again see that these items have been added. Favorites folders are great to grab content and get back to later. Playlists are always created, or generally created, with a very specific focus to drive an audience to. A side note for playlists, we do not yet have a way for individuals to share all of the playlists that they have created. However, individuals can share the link that each playlist generates once it has been created, and I'll show you this. One suggestion that several institutions have implemented is establishing a department login, where each faculty within the department uses the same access information. This allows them to share the effort put into any favorites or playlist folders and extend the usefulness of what's created. I'll show you what I mean. We've created the Bees Favorites folder. We created a new folder. Now let's check out the folders and see what we can do within each of these different features. The Favorites folder is a little more straightforward, so we'll start here. On the left-hand side of this screen, you'll see all the folders that have been created. I made a few ahead of time to show you what a few will look like. Folders can be renamed, deleted, and even created before content is found. So if you know that week 6 of a semester will cover amphibians, create that folder now, and as you search through the content, you can just add it to that folder as you go. Or you can simply create the folder as you find the content, as we did here with the bees. All the titles within the folders can be viewed on the right-hand side of the screen, or by going into an individual folder, you'll see only what content has been added to that folder. So here, we see all of the content across all of my folders. Here we specifically see the folder that I just created. Now, under the Playlist tab, similarly, the folders on the left-hand side show all of the different folders that I've created. So far, only one, where all of the content within that folder is here on the right. And here I've created two different playlists. Oddly enough, only one of them is actually in a folder. Once you create a playlist, you can add it to a folder here. You can name it or delete it right from here. You can duplicate the playlist. So let's say you grabbed 5 segments or 3 segments as we did, and you want to create a different playlist off of that. You can actually duplicate this playlist and make changes to one or the other or both. And you can also share your playlist via email. So you can send this to other individuals, as I had mentioned earlier. Let's work with the segments that we added on bee populations. Click on the icon, and we'll go to the playlist edit page. From here, you can edit the playlist for your specific purpose. On the right-hand side of the screen coming up, you'll see that you can rename the playlist, add notes. You can rename it here. You have the ability to add notes. You can arrange the segments in an order that you want them to play in. And you can get the playlist URL to make this specific folder available to your audience that you intend. So we're going to add some notes here. So that when the individuals go to this playlist, they'll have a little better idea of why I'm sending them here. If it's for an assignment or a report, you can put additional notes here that will appear in the final product playlist, and I will show you what that looks like. Always make sure that you save your changes. I'm going to leave these in the order that they're in, but you get the general idea that you can move these around. You can move them up or down, you can delete them. You can even play an individual segment to see if you still like it. The list is indicated here, or the list is playlist code is indicated here. What I'm going to do now is grab this link and go into a new tab to show you what the end product looks like. You'll notice here that there are no additional ways for individuals to get into the service at whole. Playlists are a semi-terminal link where the viewer is taken directly to specific content and not into the service at large. They don't have the ability to sort through a transcript, and we really tried to limit any other distractions that may have occurred within the service when you're trying to limit what the viewer is watching. You can see here that my title is at the top. You can see the created by information, where the content came from, the account, the notes that I included. And finally, you can see that the individual user has the ability to decide how they want the content to play. The loop playlist feature will loop the viewer back to the first segment once the last segment has finished playing. So it's more of a continuous loop that the viewer will experience. Continuous play, that means that it will play from segment to segment, almost like at one cohesive video. This is beneficial if the individual is trying to get just an overall feel, or if they're trying to pay attention to particular notes within each, they can play them one at a time. Now that you have a good idea of how to really take advantage of playlists and how to focus your users into individual content, and use favorites folders to save yourself time as you're searching through content throughout the service, I would like to look into the last two features: user options, specifically My User Preferences, and the Interactive Help Center. Both of these features are largely overlooked because they are not really highlighted to bring attention to them, and most of what can be done in the FOD service is already set up for the user in other ways. However, both of these can be helpful and help the user take full advantage of what is available in the FOD service. First, we'll look into the My User Preferences. We click on the user options up here, click on the My User Preferences to take us to this option screen. From here, the user can set the preferred streaming rate, search defaults, designate certain criteria to show for within each title, and change login information. All the way down to the bottom, you can see what collections you have access to and the amount of content available in each that you have the ability to search through. The Interactive Help Center is a wealth of information to help the individual user to work through the FOD service if they have questions or are looking for help and don't have someone to immediately ask. There are quick start guides, an interactive search bar, video tutorials, an updates page, a pin board with recently added articles, links to technical information and PDFs, and the ability to contact the support department directly. These guys know everything, and if they don't know, they will find out and get back to you. In a nutshell, this is the entire FOD service. It's already an amazing collection of content, And we continue to implement new features and enhancements alongside of rolling in content daily. So we really tried to give you as much flexibility in using this service as we could. On this next slide, we can see some notable milestones that the FOD service has already implemented, and some of the features and enhancements that we're looking forward to including that are on the horizon. As we continue to roll in new content, we're also going back and captioning the content that we have that did not have captioning when we acquired it. This is an ongoing process, and we ask that if you find a title that you would like to use that does not currently have captioning or subtitles already, let us know so that we can move it up in the priority scale. We are working to make playlists shareable, so that instead of using a department login, individuals can access each other's playlists in more of a community playlist area. We're also looking forward to dynamic auto-tagging. This will enhance the MARC files and therefore the search capability for each title by utilizing computer learning and artificial intelligence to create additional tags that may not have been present originally. For example, if a title is tagged with Thomas Edison and electricity, but the word light bulb is not in the tag, the dynamic auto-tagging will insert the tag light bulb, as there is probably overlapping information in that title that is relevant. We are moving into the capability of offering HD quality content. This is pretty exciting stuff for us as well. There was once a time when we were excited to offer the 700K stream, which is like comparing a flashlight used in the woods at night and a floodlight that the road construction people use at night. Major difference. The next two features, the custom segment tool and the video annotation tools, will allow users to even further customize the content that they want their audience to focus on. The custom segment tool will allow individuals to flag the beginning and end of a more specific time period within a segment, say from minute 3:15 to 3:45 of a 5-minute segment, to even better focus on the content the playlist creator wants to hone in on. And the video annotation tool will allow notes to pop up within the title, similar to pop-up video on VH1 if you get the reference, where the viewer will have to leave the video to the viewer will not have to leave the video to get to the notes, but rather the notes can be set up to pop up in the video at certain times. Say, in a Shakespeare title, to pay attention to the expressions of the actors or the stage setup from this point on. In a chemistry experiment, to note what the chemist did that seemed insignificant but made the overall effect happen. Very cool stuff. And on the admin portal side, we are constantly improving the reporting and account level tools to better help see usage and increase the exposure of the service on your campus. We always welcome suggestions on new reporting features where you can email these to your digital consultant or the support department directly from the help center within the service. Thank you for your time today, and I hope that this has helped to better your understanding of the Films on Demand platform. We look forward to hearing from you with suggestions or testimonials on how this service has been received on your campus. Have a great day.